Your mic, check your microphone. It might not be working. It's a full-size Nuketown. 1-to-1 ratio. Yes, Paintball Explosion. An amazing place. Unbelievable. We're going to have an amazing game there. What? You can't make it? What do you mean? What do you mean? Listen, you owe me big time. You better show up. Oh, wait. I got to start my show. Hold on. Hey, it's 1:03 here on the west coast of California in a place we call Los Angeles. I'm actually in Encino. How are you guys? Everything cool? I think so. It's about 90 degrees over here, and I just heard from my friends in Chicago it's raining, it's pouring, and the old man is snoring. Anyway, hope everything is cool. I'm looking forward to this quick little promo piece we're going to be doing for World at War. Exactly. It's coming up the end of this month. We're really excited about going there. And we're also very excited about going to play finally. The veil has been lifted. A lot of parks are opening. And this is going to be the first stop on the tour, the truncated tour. But first stop. And I'm looking forward to it. So I've got this cool cat. What's up, brother? How are you?
Hello. How are you? Life is
my
good.
day, my day is now complete that I've seen you. Can you move up closer?
You need to set higher standards. You
Okay.
need to set higher standards. How about that?
Nice. Listen, I can barely hear you. I don't know if it's my ear set or if it's there you go. Okay, let's try that.
How's this?
That sounds perfect. Okay, so you were about to sing a song for us, right?
No, not at
I
all.
know that's the wrong show. All right, no worries. Okay, cool. I got it. Hey, Jeff, tell me who you are.
Yes, I'm Jeff Ferguson. I live in Chicago, Illinois, and I'm here to talk about the World at War weekend that's going on at Paintball Explosion.
You look familiar to me. Were you in that Reaper's New show?
I was.
I think you were in it twice.
We tend to see a lot of each other because we come to Chicago more than a couple times a year normally, and we see each other at some of the Michigan games, and so
Right.
I mean, yeah, we see each other quite a bit.
You're right, and you're connected with our sport also. You've got this thing called Negative Element.
Negative Element Paintball is just the place where when at Paintball Explosion I run a MagFed game, and at one point it was a pistol game, a tournament that we run on the Saturday before both their big games. And Negative Element Paintball is just where I usually go to broadcast, answer questions, things of that sort. Essentially, it's my way of communicating to the field and in one place for everybody to go.
I like it. It sounds good. Okay, listen. Where is our? Well, I guess they can see behind me, but this amazing event that we're talking about. This I'll give you a little bit of history. World at War. Do you want me to give you a little bit of history? Are you sitting down?
Go ahead.
Okay, cool. All right, hold on one second. So in 1945, no. Okay, so basically what happened was I missed this one, the 2015 one. I missed, and the one that I ended up going to was Clowns versus Zombies, which is we'll all be talking about that later, but. The Clowns versus Zombies one is the one I went to in 2015 that started my whole relationship with TJ and Romeo. And I missed this one because I was September. Oh yeah, I think I was at Living Legends in September. That's when I think I met Romeo. And he said, "Come to our Clowns versus Zombies in October." So if Living Legends would have been sooner, then I would have gone to this one in 2015 and started my run. But so basically, I've known TJ and Romeo since 2015, and I've been going back to that park twice a year to play, to promote, to hang out, and I think they knock it out of the park.
Yeah,
I think they
see,
do.
well, like I said, the World of War game is the summer game at PBX, and it's always usually right around the weekend, either before or somewhere around 4th of July. And Clowns vs. Zombies usually October.
Right.
And it's usually, when you consider the Midwest weather, it's one of the last games of the year. So
Right,
let's face it, after the obviously, personally, I enjoy playing until it gets too bad.
Right,
But,
and you know what?
Yeah.
And you know what? Also, this game it's even though it says scorched earth, it's not that hot in Chicago at that time. I mean, the weather is kind of nice. It's actually, you know what?
80s,
I've been there
90s.
Yeah, well, not so bad. I mean, it's not so bad, but it's actually pretty good. Okay, so this is a series of them. This one is which one? Do you know the number on this one?
6, I believe.
I think it's-
my thought is it's probably there. I think they've gone to start to name them, pending on what events.
Oh, right. Because there used
So,
to be,
but I
they
think
used
it's
to number them.
7.
See that?
Okay.
No, so that 7 is last year. So this
it
would
has to
be
8. That's
8.
8 then, yeah.
Unless our math is not correct, but you're right. I don't think they named it anymore. I think they just gave them a title, which is fantastic. But how long have you been going to this amazing event?
I think I missed the first one, but I started picking it up after that.
The first one,
what do you really big? Well, let's face it. I mean, PBX 7, right around that time when it first opened up, it was big when it started to build the nuke towns and many of the actual fields that matched some of the video game specs and stuff like that, and it started to draw in large crowds. And
right.
Obviously, if you know anything about the Chicagoland area, you have PBX, which is more on the north side, and you had CPX Sports, which was more on the south. And
right.
PBX started attracting most of the players up into their area at that same point. You have, like I said, when you run those 2 games a year, CPX would always have its, Living Legends game, and that was about it. But, when you think about it, at that time, when they were building Nuketown, they were building some of the other maps that started to bring in some of the video game players and started introducing people to the sport. That's when the actual, it really began to start. And I'm sure it when, the older games, there were lots of people came from a lot of places to play that field. And PBX is unique that way in that you have a scenario where it's instead of it being just a standard woods ball field where you have the trees and you have the stacks and stuff like that. PBX is very much a CQB type place. I mean, there is some woods, there is some things, but a lot of the individual maps play really well in PBX in for a big scenario game because there's so many little pockets of CQB going on a regular basis. And PBX really in the Midwest is one of maybe a handful of places that allow first strike, that allow a lot of your firing modes, the ramping modes, etc. As long as it's under 280 feet per second. I mean, it's what I call the big boy game. I mean, when you go to PBX, you're going to be playing with a lot of the major teams. There's a lot of people that come from all over the Midwest to play. A lot of people, yourself and Wolf and a lot of the, obviously, you have Ryan Greenspan shows up every year, and members of Dynasty show up every year for, Clowns vs. Zombies. So PBX, like I said, I call it the big boy game for that reason. It's a place that they allow first strike. They allow all your firing modes. You don't go to a place and have to play semi-auto. Or,
no.
That things like that. It's a very unique scenario. The fields are very unique in, not like what usually you're going to see at other fields where, it's just a standard woods. You go from map to map to map of CQB style, paintball.
Which is interesting. The thing that I found interesting about that is when you go to a lot of different parks, sometimes there's a really big restriction about first strike rounds, or just how do I say it? CQB. Nothing here. This is no. You're like you said, it's a big boy park. And you have to be a big boy or a big girl to play it because, listen, we've got kids running around all over the place too. There's a lot of kids playing and stuff like that. But because we get these people from basically all over the world to come and play, everybody's expecting just let us play. Let's have a great time. Obviously we all respect the FPS, but just let us go in and have a great time. And so I've been in some really hairy situations. They do have the full-size Nuketown, right? So yes. I've been in some very hairy situations where, you know, you're house to house basically, and people are using first strike rounds, and you're like, okay, and you know what? It's fantastic, and that's what makes this amazing field. That it's just like whatever you want to use, you can do it.
Rounds to obviously go with the MagFed community we have here.
Right, exactly.
Chicago has a very large MagFed community, and let's face it, some of the main faces of Midwest paintball are MagFed players.
Right.
And when you think about the idea of you're playing against people that are shooting 15, 16 balls a second, or I'm sorry, I think it's toned down to 12. I think is what you have to have the field. I think it's 280 and 12. I mean, don't quote me on that, but we could always find out.
All right.
And the idea being is that you have 15. If you're a MagFed player, it's one of the things you can do is play with first strike rounds.
Nice.
To combat that. I mean,
I like
there's
it.
really not much you can do. I mean, you have to be really good at playing MagFed if you're going to play against somebody shooting 12 balls a second.
That's true.
The first strikes are usually the equalizer to the better players. And let's face it, technology in those guns are getting so much better with the Planet Eclipse making MagFed guns now and stuff like that. So, I mean, hey, you know, it's one of the few places that allows you to compete with that.
Which I agree. And also there's smoke too, right? So we can use smoke.
Fields.
You can use smoke. There's first strike rounds. You've got these foresty areas where you can hide and be a sniper. Let me ask you a question. So I can take my first strike rounds and put them in my hopper?
No.
Oh, no.
They're magazine.
Oh, okay. I'm just fucking with you. Yeah. I asked that to everybody, and they're all like,
out there who might not know. I mean,
they're like, wait, what did he just say? No. Okay. So yeah. So if you guys play this field, there's buildings that are next to forest. They're on hills. There's gullies. There's towns. I mean, and we're in the middle of the city, right? We're right in the middle of the city, and you're like, how is this all possible? That all this stuff's happening in this little area, kind of thing. That's the magic about Paintball Explosion, is that there's a lot
going on. You're not going to make it very far. I mean, you have to be really, really agile. You have to be really small and very good at eluding things, because not only do you have a lot of 12 balls a second being shot at 280 feet per second, but you have a lot of people doing it. And,
right.
And what I mean by that is there's a lot of games that you go to, and you go to a lot of the games all over the place. You go there and they have 300-400 people, and they're saying, "Gosh, this is great. This is the biggest turnout I've ever been to." And the reality is between this is just the Chicagoland area has had CPX Living Legends every year until recently, where there were 2,000 players.
Right.
And and there's probably almost that half of that at the PBX games.
Right.
But the PBX games, you don't have that massive field. This is much more of a CQB type environment where things are more tighter, and you're not going to be that far from the next guy. Even once you get to the 50-yard line, it's just there's so much going on. So like I said, it's there has to be a certain expectation that you have to be ready to play, and you have to be ready to compete.
What I like also about it is, here in Cali, we have so many paintball fields that a lot of people don't travel. They go like, I can go to this one, I can do this one. When I go to the Midwest, I'm so impressed by people that are coming in from Wisconsin, from Indiana, all these different places, and coming for this event. But they're like, yeah, this is what we do. And so it's so cool to be able to see all these different people come together and have a great time. Again, all these major teams that come in and play. There's just, it's a really cool party atmosphere. And it's just like this really kind of a kumbaya come together. I've never had a problem there. I've never had somebody get mad at me or whatever else. It's just always been kind of this like, we're happy to be at this place. I think, I always look at it from the head up, so TG and Romy are basically running the park, and then it trickles down to their staff, down to the referees, and it's always that kind of like, cool, mellow, hey, we're all here just to have a great time. And they throw a great party.
They do. And it does attract the best players. It's a very competitive, and there's TJ there. Yes.
There we go.
The park, when you talk about what's unique about the park is when you talk about the teams, and let's face it, you have the Ghost Crew, Rodents, you have Gathering Storm and the Wild Things, and on any weekend you could go to PBX and you're going to find what I'm going to call a game.
Right.
I mean, and what I mean by, let's face it, when the Open Elite game, when there's enough people at PBX on any Sunday or Saturday, they're having a beginner game, they're having a rental game, they're having the Open Elite game, which is, on any given Saturday or Sunday, as long as you're playing in that Open Elite game, you're going to be able to play with First Strike. You're going to be able to play, and you're not going to find that anywhere else. And that's why the Ghost Crew is there. That's why the Ghost Crew runs. That's why I've always played there. It's because,
Right.
you know what, we love seeing rentals. We love seeing birthday parties. You know what, when you have that going on, they don't belong in that unless they want to play there. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Let's face it. There are people that do it all the time. People
Right.
who stand. PBX is the kind of place where people who go to birthday parties will stay after the party and watch the Ghost Crew play. They'll
That's true.
watch the Assassins Alliance play. They'll
Right.
watch the Wild Things and Gathering Storm. And
Right.
you know what? When Team Rain comes up and all these major, let's face it, you can stand behind the fence and watch high-level players play, and every one of them are normally going to be represented at World at War and at
Right.
Clowns versus Zombies, and that is
Right.
what's unique about the park. I mean, the park is when you go into the park, you have an opportunity to play the beginner game.
Right.
If you don't know how to, if this is your first time around, you can go and be a rental and play.
Right.
And
Right.
so many people do it, and you can still play against other people with rentals. And
Which
then
is-
you know what? Sometimes when you want to become better and you want to figure it out, and you know what? Maybe you just want to survive. Maybe you want to be on the field at the same time as Ryan Greenspan.
Exactly.
I mean, and that's
Which-
what's kind of special about that park and those.
Right. Which is interesting that because since I've been playing since 2015, when I went to Clowns versus Zombies, I mean, Romeo and TJ brought like all of Dynasty, and then this Russian guy, I forgot what his name, or he was a
FPS
fake
Russian.
Russian. Yeah, the Russian. I mean, Mr. H was there, Wolf was there, I was there, Hastings was there. It was just like, and it was like unbelievable. And for players to be able to hang out with these people, I mean, they're like, what? I paid for this and got this. This is amazing, right? So yeah, so basically, let's twice a year, World at War, Clowns versus Zombies. These guys are there, and for the average player that they don't know they're playing next to Ryan Greenspan, right? They're playing in a big game, and they're shooting like a rental gun, and he's got his gun, and they don't know they're rubbing arms with shoulders with this guy. It's just fantastic. So it's such an amazing event. Such a dude, TJ. Romeo, you guys kill it. This is amazing. You guys kill it. All right, so let's talk about this game. This is our World at War game. It's coming up at the end of the month on the 28th, which is a Sunday. But on Saturday, you guys have your pistol game, right?
It is a MagFed event. Yes, it's a.
So wait. I thought it was. It's not just. I thought it was pistols. Now it's Mag. What is it?
Well, we want to include everybody.
Okay.
The original format was a 4-man kind of a chaotic pistol event, and one of the reasons I targeted the pistol event is there's so many pistol players here in Chicago. There really is. That being said, we had plenty of people who showed up and never had the opportunity to play with a pistol, and I would let them use mine, or you'd let them use yours, and you have guys who are high-level speedball players running around a field with a pistol, having a blast. And
having a
the
blast.
reality is that when you have the MagFed event, what you're doing is you're obviously lowering the amount of rounds being shot, but we're also starting them about 4 or 5 feet from each other on the other side of a wall, to the point where you really it's very, very close quarters, centric. And the idea being is you want to make the game faster. You want to test somebody's courage. You want to figure out. And let's face it, there was a lot of scenarios where guys were much closer than they're normally to be. And essentially, on a Saturday, we have what we're going to have this year is the same one-on-one tournament that we had last year. Essentially, it's going to be a tournament. It's a buy-in game, winner take all.
Right.
Last year we had 14 people playing, winner take all. It took almost 4 hours to do it, but everybody got to play 7 or 8 matches. The scoring system was like a system of World Cup scoring, where everybody you got points for wins, points for loss, or no points for losses, and points for ties. And essentially, what we wanted to do was put together a unique format for a one-on-one tournament, and it works really well there. PBX has Code Black, which is one of the fields, one of the maps there, which is a copy of Code Black from one of the video games. I believe it's one of the Call of Duty maps, and essentially it's completely and entirely symmetrical. Each entrance is exactly the same, etc. And so what you have is a perfect field for what I would consider a championship type field, a championship type map, because of the fact that you can do something. There's no uphill, there's no downhill, there's no he was on gravel, I was on grass. It is a completely symmetrical map, which can be used for that type of thing. And we had 14 competitors last fall for Clowns versus Zombies. I want to say the most we've had is like 28 total players in this format. This is going to be the 5th time I believe we've done it, and it's very popular. People love the format, and it's competitive. I mean, when we put our game out, we have 3-time champion in Brandon Orozco, but I mean, we have some players like Moses Torres, and you have Jose Vasquez and people like that. The community, you can see the still shots that are taken. Nano Guzman, Christian Ramos is. I mean, these are players that are there, and these are big time pistol players. These are guys who play exclusively, and they're just much more athletic. And the still shots you could see, and I wish we had a few of guys leaping over barriers and stuff like that and playing the game. And it's a special event.
Right. I think I have a video of somebody with no, that's not it. I was hoping to get a video of that, but we'll, you guys, we're going to post up some pictures anyway. We'll post them up after the show, and you guys can see what I'm talking about, or see what Jeff's talking about, actually, as far as this, the Code Black field. It's something special. It's again, there is no advantage. And we play we do 4, right? 4 corners?
Now, in this case, so we're going one-on-one. Essentially,
one-on-one.
What you have is you have a building, an interior building, where the 2 players will start on separate sides of a wall. There are outer structures, but we don't allow the players to go inside the structures. We allow them to use one wall for cover only.
Okay.
Because what we want to do is we want to cause engagement. I mean, part of what the whole idea of it is that if the actual matches are only going to be 1 minute long, you want to force engagement. You want to put people in uncomfortable scenarios, but
right.
you also want to give the people with the high skill set the opportunity to excel.
Right.
And let's face it, I mean, if you look at the people who are playing, they're people who are exclusive, usually MagFed players.
Right.
The whole idea and the whole reason why I originally started the whole process was I always had this idea that there'd be somebody in the middle of nowhere who was a paintball player in Omaha, Nebraska, that he showed up. He was the only guy who showed up with a pistol to play paintball in Omaha, Nebraska. And my thought is that he rolls out of bed every day and says, "I'm the best player in the world." I wanted to put together a venue format where he can prove that, or he can find out where he is. And I want to say last year, I think his name was Daniel Urban. He showed up. He was from Kansas. I believe he lived on the base in Kansas. And he said, he took the weekend, came up and played, and I got to meet him. He's the nicest guy in the world. And you know what? He competed. And he realized, he's like, he was on the field with Jose Vasquez. He was on the field with Brandon Orozco.
Right,
he was able to play against all these guys in the format we had, and he enjoyed stuff like you wouldn't believe. And my thought is that is what we're trying to do. So I'm trying to build, a game that he can, find out where he is and what he needs to get better at. And then every year, the idea is to refine it and make it better. And if you can make the game better, make it. If you can make the tournament better, make it better. And part of the whole idea is that in this community, I can do that because of the fact that we have so many good players.
You are providing a great service, and so far we've all fallen in love with it every time. I mean, and then even Ryan Greenspan won one year, right?
Well, like I said, we've had 4, and 3 of them have been won by Brandon Orozco. And obviously, everybody knows he is the best. I mean, he's the champ. I mean, if people are walking around paintball parks in Chicago saying, I'm the champ, there's only one right now. And the reason being is because Brandon is the guy who's come out the 4 times. Now, there have been other tournaments. I'm not discarding any other tournaments. Other people do their thing. When it comes to the PBX events, Brandon Orozco won 3 of them. The only person who beat Brandon Orozco was Ryan Greenspan. And I love that story of when Ryan Greenspan came out and played, because I'll be honest with you, I was one of the people that were saying, I think Brandon will take him. And you understand, when you see Ryan Greenspan play, you understand exactly, what a professional player is, and how the amazing, the I'm going to call it court awareness, field awareness. I mean, he was very good at finding people when other people weren't, when there was no noise. And usually when you hear firing, you know where everybody is, and he was one step ahead, that day. I'd love to see it happen again, and hopefully it will.
He was doing snap shooting like you would not believe it.
It was amazing. It was. I mean, like I said, it was. That's the best picture right there. If you're watching and you're looking at that screen, what's wonderful about each one of those, I'm going to call it, you have a spire in the middle, right? You have an inner area there on the inside in the center of that map. Each one of those I'm going to call them walls coming out. Obviously, I go from say 7 feet high down to probably 3 feet high at its tips, and each one of them is I don't know. I measured it all out, 30 yards,
Okay.
maybe less. I mean, we're and they were all within. I think there was no delta when it comes to one being further from the other. It was symmetrical, and that was the great thing is you could start people at 2 points on that map, and each and every one of those is going. Each player is going to have the same amount of cover, the same amount of room to work with. It's unique. That doesn't happen very often when you see something like that.
Okay, so
Now,
this is looking at it from the front, and then as you guys looked, when you saw it looking down, there again the same rooms. There's 4 rooms, and all rooms are connected.
correct. In the center, correct. But the entire map is available to players. If you look and you can see the other structures on the
There's
left and
one.
right there. Yeah,
There's
that
one.
there.
Yeah.
Each one of those now, that's the wrong side. Yeah. But
There
if
we
you
go.
see there, those are exactly when
There we go.
on a longitudinal, those
Yeah.
are 40 yards apart from east to west, and they are 50 yards apart north to south. But what's important about those other structures is that you can use a wall. You cannot enter those structures. We don't want guys going in there and camping and using 2 walls
Right.
to cover. The
Right.
idea is to keep them outside.
Right.
You know, we don't want somebody to have the opportunity to go be the first to structure, lock down, and just stick your guns at the door and say, "Try to come in, and I'll catch it." The idea is we wanted to challenge guys. We wanted to make sure that they were active. We wanted to make sure that they were put in bad positions.
Right.
And
I
so
got
like
it.
I said, the idea is you can use any one of the walls outside of the center. The center you can do whatever you want. You know, the center is kind of Thunderdome. You know, it's kind of if you walk into if both players are starting in the center, if they stay in the center, it's not going to last very long, and it's probably
Right.
going to end up with walls. So I mean,
Right.
usually
No,
guys are going out and finding a better finding a better place. But going back to Ryan Greenspan, what he was so good at is because you can imagine in the format, it's very quiet. There's
Yeah.
70 people watching this
Right.
happen, and it's
Right.
quiet. And
It
the
was
reason
nice.
because everybody knows that, you know what, he's going to listen for footsteps. He's going to listen.
Yeah.
For Ryan
Right.
Greenspan there was nobody better. I
Right.
haven't seen anybody better, and I'm naive to think that that Brandon Orozco was going to take him. But I think Brandon might, you know, I think given the second chance he could. Or you know what, there's a couple other guys I think would give him a run too. But
Well,
it
we'll
was
see.
amazing to watch.
We're going to see in Clowns versus Zombies in October, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if he wants to jump in again, which I'm sure he will. Okay, so what do we have for the generals for this World at War?
Let's see. Gavin Cundiff and I think it's Andy Chioco are going to be for the red and the blue team.
Okay.
As far as the game itself, what you should probably people should probably know is you can register for the game at pbbomb.com. Go to the Paintball Explosion website, and like I said, there's 2 generals there. This is a Mike Payroll game,
Yeah.
as it always is.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's going to be missions all day long. There's going to
Yeah.
be constant insertion is
Right.
something that they do there. They don't do it's like I said. I want to say. I wish I knew the acreage of the field. It's not huge, but what you have is you have constant CQB.
Right. And also, like you just said, constant insertion. It's not like they hold us back for 10 minutes and go, okay, now the next, come in. You clean up and you get back in. You clean up and you get back in. And you just keep on like bam, bam, bam. And the cool thing about that is it's basically the fields are, half and half.
Right.
And if you're coming in from Nuketown, you can stage over there for a second, go in through Nuketown, go through the silo. Or if you go, I'm going to try it through the bridge. Then you go across all the way down.
Right.
And then go across the bridge and come in. So there's just constantly amount of this, like you're going to get tired. You're going to get tired from so much, running. It's going to be fantastic.
Well, it's a very competitive game, and that's the reason.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty convinced that that is the charm of CPX of PBX.
Yeah.
Sorry, is that it's constant insertion, and it's very competitive. The best players want to play that game. The largest,
I agree.
Some of the largest. I mean, there's always, Team Rain is always part of it. Mad Frog always has a group that comes down from Michigan.
Right.
We
got
the Berserkers are always coming from Michigan, or it was Wisconsin, I'm not sure, but I mean, Gathering Storm is always part of it.
Yeah.
They're the local team. It's a big game. The biggest teams are always going to be represented.
Lots of folks, lots of giveaways. That's what
Yes.
another thing that Romeo and TJ are really good about doing is about giving stuff away to the kids, getting the kids involved in our sport,
Mhm.
and this just, I mean, they're amazing. They're just like, don't tell anybody this, okay? Just between you and I, okay?
Okay.
A lot of times they take money out of their own pocket to do this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I know. So don't tell anybody that. But yes, they make sure that this thing is a really big, huge event with lots of awards. I mean, people just take this stuff really, really serious. So
Vendors are always there too. I mean, people like to see vendors. I mean, Team Tags is always around, and
Team Tags always around. We've got
Ninja,
Immortal Air,
or Gorilla Air.
Immortal Air, dude. Gorilla, how old are you, dude? All right, get with the picture. All right, I'm always there giving out stuff from different countries. This is from Canada. Death to the bitches. If you get shot by me, you get a Reaper card, and we'll give you pictures. I always got. This is remember you and I were commando together. Yeah. You know this cool cat, right? Yep. So he's our aide de camp. He's our guy that just basically makes sure that everybody is having a great time and drives us all over the place. And yeah. And then this cool cat in the middle is Susie. She makes sure that everything runs quietly in the background, that there is no need for nothing.
People in the park, trust me.
Exactly. They are crushing it with that. So thank you very much again. Do you know who this guy is?
I recognize that guy.
This guy is Yeti.
Yes. He was a general last year. He was a general
right,
last
and
year.
He's one of my sponsors, and for the Yeti wear. I love this guy. He's just a great guy. He's going to be there again this year. Who else do we have over here? Well, here's basically a picture of. We did this one. So this is basically a picture of the opening ceremonies. We're basically standing up on this little mountain, and we're talking to the crowd and saying, "Hey, here's what's going on, and this is what it's going to be." There's Payroll right there. Very unassuming in his T-shirt, just making sure that everything goes fine. But yeah, he's great. And I just showed you this. We all get these badges. So for Chrono, and if you're a bad boy, they stamp you and that kind of stuff. And not too many bad boys, but yeah, they go out of their way to make sure that the game is fair. And referees, when we're talking about on the ball referees, these guys are like super cool. And also, what you were talking about, the MagFed game, there's so many referees inside that MagFed game. There is no wiping and there's no cheating. There's more referees than spectators.
One of the things that I usually cover during the debriefing before the game is the elimination, the concept of surrendering. And obviously nobody's going to surrender, but what I mean by, and usually what I'm saying is everybody who is in this game, there's 16 to 24 guys playing. They're all here to play. They're all used to playing CQB. There's double tapping with a pistol is not a terrible thing. Be the person who actually wins rather than thinking, well, I might have gotten, he's like, you know what, put them away right away. And the reason is because, and let's face it, I mean, you really can't overshoot with a mag-fed gun. I mean, there's only so many mags, so many that you're going to shoot. And
it depends.
We all try to play gentlemanly, but if you're playing 6 feet from each other and there's the money on the line, and you know what, at some point you have to eliminate the question of, did I be? It's like if a guy jumps through the roof after being hit from being hit from a couple feet away because they're in a position where they're so close in the CQB scenario. The idea being is to finish them off.
Right.
And I always cover that because you'd hate to see a scenario where the nice guy ends up losing because he's not acting like that. This is a competitive group.
Right.
A very high skill set group. You don't want to be the guy who loses because you're thinking maybe that there's a better. The idea is if you don't want to take it, you're not going to get it because somebody else will.
Dude, look what I found. Hang on one second. Check this out. Let's see if we can make this full screen. Let's go here. Okay, so you guys don't say I never do anything for you guys. This is this is going to help you to cheat. Go check out Code Black Paintball, first and third POV from Paintball Pistol Pete. Check this out.
Yeah. The only major difference is that you'd be starting in the two players who are playing are starting inside the hut where he is right now. I'm going to call it the spire. It's 6 feet. Each one of those is 6 feet away. And literally you could see how close people are. There's 4 different rooms just like that one with the spire in the middle. I'm going to call it the spire. And, you know, that field at its furthest point is 50 yards away, which 50 yards when you're talking about playing with round ball is about usually the tip that you can shoot one effectively with it breaking. If you get halfway there and you're normally going to be within 20 yards of any opponent while you're playing on that map. And that is what makes it exciting. Is just by happenstance. It doesn't happen if you're standing at there's no point that you're probably not within range. So, I mean, you could tell the map and you could see how close everybody is and how it's right next and they're on the other sides of walls. And usually you can hear them out, by the way.
Yeah, you can hear them.
It helps when it's really nice day too, you know? But if you could see how that wall undulates, it's probably 8-9 feet high at its height. But as you come down and as you're coming down, it gets down to around, say, waist high, which is 3 feet off the ground. So, I mean, what he's playing in is a game where they have, that's a good visual of the field from an open play perspective.
Yeah.
Now, take 2 people, put them into that center, the actual center spire, and start them there. And knowing that even if they run in different directions, they're only going to be 50 yards from each other, and they only have a minute to really fight it out anyhow. So
that's awesome.
You're not going to move on in my right? Yeah, you're not going to move on in tournaments by time. I mean, everybody kind of understands that.
Right, and again, you guys, we're looking for action, so move.
Right. Well, they do, but we don't have to say that. I mean, the guys who play are moving fast.
Right. Exactly.
I would love to say that I'm competing. I haven't competed in one yet because I've been trying to kind of lay the groundwork. The reality is,
got a lot of work.
They're moving so much faster than people really give it credit for. But I mean, we've had people. I mean, the great thing is during this also, we've also had you playing. And you've played in the first few of them. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Wait, do we still do that thing where? The winners play the celebrities at the end? Yes.
Well, last time we did that, we had 3 celebrities. We had the champion was taking on Ryan Greenspan.
Right.
We had 2 people who played in the tournament let's everybody play.
Oh, wait a minute. Who did I play? I played against what's her name? She was the general for the game, right?
Carla. Yes.
Carla. It was me and Carla, hand to hand.
That didn't go well.
What do you mean it didn't go well? What do you mean? I cornered her, and it was a 50-50, and she won.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It was all part of the game.
Carla, she might have a different story about that.
No, she's amazing. She was amazing. She had 1 pistol, I had 2. She still won. It was fantastic. But anyway, okay. So when are we going to this thing?
When it's the June 27th, Saturday, June 27th, I believe, and it's the 28th is the Sunday scenario game.
Okay, and they can pre-register right now for the games at
pbbomb.com. Paintball Explosion website, pbbomb.com. Go under events. Everything should be there for them.
Got it. Okay, cool. So pbbomb.com or go to their Facebook page. The paint is really, the paint and the entrance, not that expensive. It's it's an amazing weekend. Like you said, especially if you have MagFed, 1 box is probably going to last you for if you played Saturday and Sunday, right?
I think the pre-registry for the game is $25, and paint is $60.
Wait, what'd you just say? $25?
$25, yes.
TJ, you're not going to stay in business.
You're
going to go out of business with these prices.
Yeah.
Talk to me. I'll be your Jewish lawyer. You're not going to stay in business. 25. Come on. No. Okay. So if they don't do pre-reg, do you know what it is after that?
Well, I think it's probably 35 day of. I think you could save money by pre-registering. I know that. I mean, I haven't gone on there recently. I think it's 25, 35. But and I know the Sunday before the event is usually the cutoff for pre-registry. So, I mean, if they just go on pbbomb.com, they can see everything there. They could choose whichever team they want to play for, blue or red. I won't know. You and I won't know who we're playing for until day of. Usually, I mean, just because
Cool.
that's
I
been.
know.
But yes, if you go on there the day before, I'm sorry, you go to pbbound.com. You can go to the events page, and everything should be there for them.
Nice. Say hello to Adam. He's on the West Coast. Maybe we'll get him out here.
Hello, Adam.
And on the East Coast. Did I just say West Coast? I'm West Coast. He's East Coast. He's the East Coast. Beast from the East. You know Michael, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ghost Crew, baby. Rosemary. Hey, Rosemary. How are you? Jose. You know Jose.
Oh,
The Chi-Town Bandits. Look at that. I'm doing the, like, is that their, no, Chi-Town? How the fuck did it?
I think you should let Jose do it. I think that's
like that? Is it like this? That's it. Yeah, never mind. Anyway.
You should let Jose do it.
I'll let Jose do it. Anyway,
Okay.
hey, I'm so into this tournament. Nice. Okay, look at Jose. We're looking forward to having you there, Jose. Okay, Jeff. So I think we've done our news program to talk about the events. So I think people got that, and I think people are going to get this one as too. So you guys listen. If you're in the surrounding area, which would be Michigan, Wisconsin, Indiana, where else do we got? Where else?
I can honestly say that
Canada.
Over a few. Let's face it. I mean, I think the most that it was ever talked about that 22 different states
right
tend to come to these games. And when you think about that number, at the entire Midwest, Canada, obviously California is always represented. Oregon, I know a guy from Oregon.
Right.
From as far south as Kansas and Florida. I mean, let's face. I mean, the great thing about the PBS, you talk about all the celebrities and the people who've been generals in the past. I mean, I think when Mike Phillips was part of the group, and Wolf, and yourself, and all the other people that you had mentioned. But I mean, I had people from Texas, people from New Mexico I've met. So I mean, this is one of the, like I said, the uniqueness of the field, the fact that you have so many CQB field. It's not just a field that you go to, you play a game. There's a couple hundred people there. You're in the woods. This is very designed to be competitive.
This
and
used to
that's
be
one of the unique things about the field.
It used to be a Santa Claus Village, and all the props and buildings, the bumper car thing, everything's still there.
Right.
You guys, you're not going to find a field, and trust me, because I've been all over the place. You're not going to find a field like this one. This is why I keep on enjoying when I go back to Paintball Explosion. Okay, so if you guys believe in signs, I was dropping off my kid at his apartment the other day, and I was talking to Jeff about we need to do this, we need to do the show, and I look to the right and I see a car that says Windy City. Windy City. That's the slang for Chicago. So if that's not a sign, I don't know, but it's done. It's in. We're buying the tickets today. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there. And also do me a favor, you guys, try the Reaper sandwich. It's a chicken sandwich with barbecue sauce, and I'm gonna bring there's some cheese. I'm gonna bring some special jelly from Trader Joe's. So how about this? The first person to hit me up while I'm at the park and say, I would like to try Reaper sandwich, it's on the house. I'll get it for you for free. So the first person to find me and say, I want to try Reaper sandwich, go ahead. All right. So listen, brother, I think we knocked it out of the park.
I think so too. And like I said, if you have any questions, you can go to negativeelement.com. I'm sorry, Negative Element Paintball on Facebook. And like I said, if you have any questions about the park, go to pbbound.com. All the maps are there. Your registries are all going to be there. If you're going to pre-register or register for the pistol event, the MagFed event, the Sunday before, which would probably be the 21st, I'm thinking. Don't get in before then. But the registry is going to save you on money on paint. It's going to save you on the registry. And this is the kind of this is a destination field. We've always talked in the past about paintball, and does paintball need more fields? It's like, I don't think paintball needs more fields. Paintball needs more venues. It needs more arenas. It needs the kind of places where everybody wants to go play. And PBX, the Clowns vs. Zombies, and the World at War game are just arenas. This is the place where if you want to play, there's a reason why Dynasty will come and play this game every year. It's because they know there's going to be, just under 1,000 people playing, in a big game in fields where you're going to allow first strike, and you're going to allow, ramping modes and firing modes at go for 12 balls per second at 12 balls per second at 280 feet per second. So
I'm
the
in.
idea, it's the big boy game.
I'm in.
Excited just talking about it.
I know you are, so calm down, take a pill. Let's do, all right. So, all right, brother man, listen, TJ, Romeo, thank you again for all your hospitality and everything that you do for me and for the sport. Thank you very much again to all the teams that come out, even the berserkers who don't like me, but still, thank you for coming out and having a great time. Anyway, you guys, we all love everybody. That's what we're here to do. We're here to play, and let's do this. So I'll see you guys at the end of the month. And
Berserkers not the guys you want mad at you, by the way.
no,
Good
you
guys,
don't.
big players. Yeah.
Don't want them mad at you. Bye, you guys. I'll shoot you soon. And adios, Jeff. I'll see you later. Bye.